And we should now be live. Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to check that everything's working okay on OBS. It is excellent. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to DLC Day. And there's so many of you in chat already. I am so impressed. Miron is here. Dane is in chat as well. Jesse, hello. Danny, hello. There's some new names here in chat. I would ask, if you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, as it does help us grow, as we are quite a small channel. And do check out all of my other videos and such that we have done. Hello, Ryan the Gamer. Hello, Andre. Good to hear from you as well. Colt is here too. King Giga is here. Miss Archaeopteryx. Berenson, you're always here, which I love. Matthews is here. Navi is here as well. There's so many of you in chat already. I am really happy that plenty of you want to come and see what I think of this DLC. And yes, please don't forget to like the video, as well as King Giga has pointed out. Right, so as we all know, it is DLC day today, and welcome back to my mod testing, species testing map that I built many months ago on Great Britain. And I think this is the best place to test all of the animals. Now, I want to say a few things before we get going, just to clear stuff up. First thing I want to say is thank you to Evolution Square, who brought me the DLC this morning as a thank you for helping moderate her 12-hour stream that she did. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before last. She brought us YouTube moderators the DLC. So I just want to go out there and say thank you to Evolution Square. It is most appreciated. I also want to say that I have tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible. So this is pretty much, I'm going to be seeing all of this stuff for the first time. And we'll go through it how I normally go through. So we'll have a look at the species in in-game first. Then we'll go have a look at the species in the species viewer and have a look at the skins and such. And then we'll go through my overall opinion. I also want to do, in this particular stream, a bit of a mod spotlight too, because there has been a mod launch today which I think is absolutely awesome and deserves a bit of spotlighting. So let's get started with Microceratus, I think. Where are we? Microceratus. I'm going to put everything onto randomized. Oh, interesting. So we've got two special skins for it. I didn't realize. Okay, well, we'll randomize it. Okay, so they come in batches of 7, which I think is fair. Oh, actually, there was something I wanted to check. I wanted to... So, what's its rating? Appeal, 43. Let me get up DinoDB on another webpage, because I want to have a look at the ratings. Let's go based on sort by base appeal from lowest to highest. Okay, so with an appeal of 43, this puts Microceratus between Archaeornithomimus at 39 and Metabarosaurus at 47. So this makes it pretty much the highest rated, one of the highest rated of the small animals, which I think is almost a little too high, personally. Right, let's have a look at these guys. Oh, they're so small.
I want 7.
You're not having 7. They're so small. Oh, they are pretty cute. I believe this is a movie skin, right? Microceratus 2022A. They are adorable and tiny. I love the patterning. So the patterning is not just the colours on the frill, but the frill colours also on the body. Absolutely love that. There's that. That is exactly the one that was in the screen. Was it the trailer? In the trailer, the grey body and the purple frill and striping. Absolutely adorable. We will do so Meg. We're going to do it in order. We'll start with the land animals, then we'll do Meg, then we'll do Thanatosdrakon. An aggressive Microceratus. I'm sure all of my carnivores are quivering in fear of this hyper-aggressive Microceratus. So yeah, I mean, they look great, but as we're already seeing, this is the problem with the small species in game. You can't see them through the grass. They're hidden. Like, if I zoom out a bit, you can barely see them.
My question is, how long until the game drops the render of them to 0?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Shall we see how far I can...
Zoom out before they disappear.
Well, actually, because the grass disappears first, you can still actually see them a little bit. There we go. Now they're invisible here. You cannot see them here. Then they pop back in. You can see that pop back in there. Boom, boom, boom. There they are. Suddenly there. The L.O.Ds. Yeah.
Sorry, let me just get my magnifying glass because I can't see any of that.
But, I mean, they look brilliant. And... it would be nice if I could see the social animation that they have. I would like to see the social animation. Which is always difficult when you're dealing with really tiny animals. Will you two do it? I would like to see your social if possible.
They are like introverts at a rave.
Oh, hang on, he's stopped in place. There we go. Right, we can have a look at the social. There we go. It's always obvious when a social animation's going to play out.
At least it's a little less obvious because they're tiny.
Aww. So they just do kind of an affectionate head rub. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's acceptable. Could have been a little more interesting. NG's like, aww. Yes, Miss Archaeopteryx. The game still has a big problem that social animations will be very, very obvious when they're about to happen. Right, let's have a look at the Segi, and just to aid us in viewing it, let's sandify the area. Just so that we can actually see this bloody animal. There we go. Right. So, Segi. Cheesy pasta. Sounds good for you. I'm lactose intolerant, so I have to avoid cheese. Segi. Where is Segi? Am I just blind? Hang on. Sedgekin. Oh, there we are. It looks too much like a normal dinosaur. I just couldn't see it. So Segisaurus has a rating of
51.
21. Sorry, yeah, I lost it there. 21. So that makes it lower than Moros Intrepidus and puts it the same rating as Coelophysis and Compsognathus. What? So again, okay, strange. We'll make some, and then I'm going to ask a very clear question, because obviously I need to see what these guys look like first, but then I'll ask you all a question about this guy. So it looks like they come in packs of 8. Yes, I am lactose intolerant, Neuron. Interesting you should say that, Berenson. So when I was a kid and they had just discovered Segi, there were some rumors that it had like webbed feet and webbed hands and it was a fish eater because they had so little of the skeleton. Okay. I don't like this skin. The pattern, I mean. I really wish the Frontier would not just do this generic splodge pattern, because it looks fine along the back, but then you get this weird, you know, they've got splodges on the face. And sometimes it works, but with some colours, I quite like that colour though. With some colours it works, and with others it really doesn't. That's pretty impressive. I just think it looks a little messy, actually. It looks disorganized and kind of messy.
Was that just their social?
But I mean, it's all right. Oh, was that the social that I just missed there? I think it was. Ah, do we get it here?
It's happened twice.
Okay, so I do quite like the social animation of one creeping up on the other one and scaring the little shit out of them. That's quite funny. That's actually quite amusing.
That social has now played 4 times since you made them.
Okay, so here's the question I want to ask everybody. Why would you use this instead of Coelophysis? Because I think Coelophysis has better skins. The social animation might be enough to tip the balance of favor into Segi. A baby Coelophysis. I suppose you could use this to represent a baby, well, a number of baby animals actually. Any theropod with 3-toed hands. So you're looking at things like Allosaurus. You could potentially use it as a baby. He's just run off into the grass.
I was going to say, he's breached containment.
I am curious about something. It's difficult to see how the size of these. So where is our standard little... Well, actually, let's grab a few other animals and see. So there's an oviraptor in comparison. And there's a little compy in comparison. And there's a Coelophysis in comparison. And let's grab a... I'm going to assume Microceratus isn't going to be working with this particular... Oh no, it is. There we go. There's a Microceratus in comparison. So that'll give us a good indication of size. So Segi is actually only just barely bigger than a compy, and Coelophysis is actually huge. Coelophysis is huge in comparison to all of these. I kind of feel like Coelophysis' rating is a bit low, considering. I understand it's a novel... Well, it's not a novel dinosaur. It's technically a film dinosaur. That's where the canon of it comes from. There is a mod for a dino spawn tool. It's part of Kyadenic's toolbox, NG. So even Microceratus is actually almost the same size. So yeah, I mean, I suppose the size the size of the animal also makes me think, like, why would you use Segi instead of Coelophysis? Coelophysis is bigger, more easy to see, has a nicer skin, in my opinion, the pattern, anyway. And is from the Triassic period. Segi, I don't know what time period it's from. Is it Triassic or is it Jurassic? I can't remember. Jurassic B is because I used a dino spawning tool. So if I leave the camera angle, I can use the dino spawning tool to create whatever animal I like at whatever position I like. It just goes to show just how tiny these animals are. Like, oh look, little old Microceratus fits neatly under the entire foot of an Alamo.
Segi is Jurassic.
Not that I would crush Microceratus underneath an Alamo, but anyway, away he goes. So yeah, I'm not convinced. I think Segisaurus was always going to be the hard sell of this particular pack, being that no one... So they kind of said everyone was asking for it, but I'm like, really? I don't remember every day seeing, let's have Segisaurus. I saw more Microceratus, I saw plenty of Megalodons, I've seen plenty of Hapsicopteryx, but I've not seen loads of, let's have Segisaurus. Like, who exactly was desperate for that Segi? I don't know. Okay. Are these animals going to need food? I should just double check. Oh, dinosaurs don't starve is on. Let's turn that off. So that, because obviously we want to see the Megalodon feed, obviously. So we will need it. Let us have a look then at what is obviously the only particular species of this pack that everyone is bothered about. The Meg. Right, so, Megalodon. 2,200 appeal. That makes it...
In between the Indoraptor and Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah, between Indoraptor and Quetzalcoatlus in terms of overall, but in terms of the lagoon, it makes it the second highest appeal. It fits between Tylosaurus at 1661 and Mosasaurus at 2,500. I think that's a bit high, personally. I personally think Megalodon is a bit high in terms of appeal. Maybe. I don't... it's difficult to know. I do think the way they do appeal in this game is always messed up. Alright, let's have a look here. So it's literally a batch of 1. So whatever we get... Actually, let's make 2 because we need 2 for the social. Look at that though for a price tag. 2.7 million to make one. Again, if you're going to be having these in challenge mode or playing sandbox mode with money on, that's going to be a chunk of your money off the bat. Let's have a look. Mr. Ooh. Ah, okay, so we get the frill view. Okay, I'm going to release the second one. I just want to see if we get a different view. Oh no, so it's the same. It's the same leaving the thing as per. I have the music off, Jesse. Just to make it easier for people to hear me. Oh, I should turn the music on for Megalodon. Okay. Okay, hold up then. What we'll do is we'll turn the music on. There we go. We'll make another one. And we'll have a listen to the music, shall we? They didn't play it. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a fourth one.
We're just gonna make one, he says.
They didn't play the music. Okay, here we go. A few little Jaws-esque sort of elements to that. They are big, aren't they? Jesus.
I do like that skin though.
Right, let's have a look at the skins that we've got here. So, Megalodon 1 is... oh, this is basically the one they had in the screenshots. Bye-bye, NG. Thank you for popping in. I do like what they did with the... Ooh! Okay. Was that the social? I think that was the social animation. Oh, this is... We got more of the music for it here. So, seeing it in-game, I really like what they've done with the Meg. The fact that it's not over the top in its... Let's just pause here. The fact that it's not over the top in its depiction, they've gone for the quite long body shape, the new scientifically accurate body shape. They've gone for the really long, I believe these are called pectoral fins. They've gone for the really long pectoral fins, which makes it kind of similar to... I think thresher sharks or lemon sharks have the really long pectoral fins. I cannot quite remember. I like the little cutout on the tail fin. Or not tail fin, the dorsal fin. They are pectorals, thank you, Cold. And then the elongated thresher shark-like upper fin of I call it... I've been calling it an upper fluke in my videos on it. But I think that's wrong. I think fluke is only with whales and dolphins. I don't think that's what they call it for fish. I don't know. But yeah, the thresher shark-esque. I mean, it could... Not massively long, but it's definitely longer. It is a cool model. I also like the face. It's not as aggressively pointy as the great white shark. So it helps to definitely differentiate it, which is what I wanted. I had a massive fear that the Megalodon was going to look too much like a great white shark, and that would put me off. But I actually think they've achieved a really good model here, and I really like this particular skin color, the patterning as well. Let's have a look at another. So look at this. So this is, I'm gonna hedge a bet. This is Gambia River Basin or Great Sandy Desert. Gambia River Basin. There we go. I'm that good. Gambia River Basin and their pattern with the white spots and stripes. This is almost like whale shark striping. I really like it. It looks good on the Megalodon. It looks really, really good. This guy with this generic brown, I'm gonna reckon this is what, Limpopo River, something like that. Yeah, Limpopo River. There we go. And what's our last one? Ooh, this could be mangrove forest or maybe Salar del Huasco, something like that. Amazon rainforest. Okay. So yeah, I think they look good. I would say one thing they haven't animated for the model, which is a bit of a shame, is the gills. Like, the gills obviously should be opening and closing as it breathes, and you should have more of that effect. At the moment, they only do that based on where its head is pointing, and you can actually see if it turns too sharply one way, the gills clip into the fins and stuff. But apart from that, I think it looks pretty good. If that was the social animation we saw when we were just having a look at those two, I think it's having obviously trouble getting into that position there. I think the social animation is a bit lacking, if that's all it is. Honestly, I would prefer the social to have been something that was a little more violent. I think Dunkleosteus's would have worked better for the Meg, where it like bites the tail or bites one of these elongated fins. I think that social was a bit lacking. But let's have a look at him feeding, shall we? So I don't know where to sit for this. Probably somewhere here. Yeah, I think about here probably works. He looks like he's going down. Cannibalism. Shark on shark violence, yes. They do give a properly evil shadow under the water, I have to say. I think that is one of the few things that Megalodon has going for it for me, is that because it's such a recognizable shape to us as humans. So when you do see one like just as a shadow under the waterline, it gives a properly villainous shadow. Whoa. Ah. Okay. That's so it kind of has like an arc? I kind of need to see that again. Let's get into sort of... I think if we get into position here, I kind of want to see that again from like the arc position. when shark gets flipped upside down and become paralyzed, but not in this animation. No, that reminds, so King Giga, that reminds me of something I saw on Twitter the other day of like this diver who, there was a shark coming towards.
Get rotated.
Yeah, there was a shark coming towards him, and he just flipped him on his back and then put him on his nose on the seabed, and this shark was just completely baffled. Just did not know what had happened to it. It's kind of fun. Oh. I think we have another shark on the incoming. Oh, damn. I want to be able to get this in slow-mo.
Ooh. That is not liking that sea spray.
The flickering of the sea spray, yeah.
We need to put a strobe light warning on this now.
Let's shift control. That's a good shot. I think I have to. That requires a screenshot. I think that right there. That's so cool. Where's he gone? Oh, that's interesting. What? Look at that. Okay, that's an interesting discovery. When it's playing the animation, it appears invisible from underneath the water.
Well, yeah, because you're just watching a cutscene. They're not going to actually animate the model, are they?
Yeah, it's only visible above the waterline. How peculiar. Oh, that's a good shot right there. Right. And then I assume it's back into the water. And then it's yeah, it just noms it straight down. Ooh. Another crunch. And done.
It despawns the fish before it crunches.
The Megalodon, I think it's a good animation. It's obviously based on great white sharks breaching in a sort of an arc shape and doing off most sort of flip when they're doing it as well. I think it's really well based on that. I do think there's not enough splash effect for an animal that's as heavy as this. It doesn't seem very splashy on the water, but I would say that kind of is the case with pretty much all of the lagoon animals. They don't really interact with the water enough. But it's a really good animation. I like that. Yeah, when they catch seals is what they're most well known for breaching when they attack. But they will also breach attack other things. We want to see it eating something. Shall we give them something to... Okay, let's turn off... Let's get rid of that. Because of fish... Okay. Let's see if they'll hunt... some ichthyes, shall we? Away with the ichthyes. These are the perfect prey for Meg, I think. But obviously we've got to wait for a Meg to actually try and eat one. Are you... Looks like you're going in. If I can catch them at the right moment, I will try and slow-mo it so I can see it. Look at their eyes. I will do that if we can catch it. It's going to put it on fast forward. Honestly, I'm surprised the ichthyes are not panicking as much as I thought they would. I'm trying to keep both the ichthyes and the megs in shot, just so I can see when we might be nearing a kill. But honestly, it just seems like the ichthyes are happy just to bully the megs at the moment. They're just swimming all around them.
Have you turned hunting on?
Hunting is on. I mean, they were going after the shark feeder, so I would assume they would be happy to hunt and kill the ichthyes. Maybe I have to turn off the they're always happy with each other. Let me double check. Combat frequency. Normal. Okay, that should be enough. I'm actually just going to switch to camera mode because I hate using the conventional camera. Let the bloodbath begin. That feels a bit cruel. I'm also assuming they're going to fight with each other, because I have a feeling they're not going to be very friendly. you don't want to be near these guys, Icky. They're all just in this end of the... Honestly, these megs are not... Oh, okay. I mean, the ichthyes are too busy having a go at each other. You might be more worried about the giant sharks that are everywhere, guys. Come on, one of you get hungry. This one just wants to go back into where it came out of. This one... There's definitely some awkward animation qualities here. Very much some awkward animation qualities. Well, these guys are just insistent of not eating each other. Why not release a Moser as well? I have no interest in figuring out who's better, Moser or Meg. Plus, apparently, from what people have already said, Megalodon wins every single fight against Moser, which I think is a tad unfair. I wonder maybe if they're not eating them because I've got all species on to like each other. Let's see if that makes a difference. Dinosaur comfort off. All like. No dislike, normal. Okay, let's apply it. Let's make it normal. Okay, let's hope that has the effect. Comfort is off, but comfort doesn't really matter. They should just be willing to eat the ichthyosaurs when they get hungry. You don't have any of the DLCs, Karen? I would suggest you get them, but I would suggest you get sort of the bigger ones first. The Malta and the Biosyn packs. Just because there's more in them to use. Come on, guys. I know you're hungry. Go and kill the ichthyes. These guys are being very awkward. Like, hungry! Hang on, one of them is hungry. Okay, let's track you. Because if you're hungry, you should go and find something to eat. Surely. You are very hungry. Wow, look at that for the environmental needs. At least 4 shark feeders to be happy. That's a lot. Come on, Meg number 2. I want to see some... You go and nom an ichthy. They're not really cooperating, no. Just put the new stuff in my all-species park and it's trying to murder my poor I-5. A fight has begun between Meg... Oh dear. Ooh, ooh, that's... Well, that was rude. Ah, hang on, it's just flashed up. It's begun the hunt. Dun dun. Hunted. Hunted. Oh. It broke. That was bugged. Well, that's not right. No, that's definitely not right. I think it was coming straight out of that attack that it had with another Meg. I'll leave them as they are, and if we get a pop-up, we'll pop back and have a look, shall we? Let's go and make some Thanatosdrakon. Thanatos, not Thanatosdrakon. That's Thanatosdrakon is prehistoric planet, isn't it? Thanatosdrakon. So a full pack of 3 eggs. And let's make sure they have something to eat from. So I'll give them a fish feeder. I'm also going to put a goat feeder in here as well. Just to see if we can get some interesting animation. These are quite cheap. Ooh, I like the music. I like that little music track that they have. This one is beautiful. Although they do seem to struggle to fly. I really do think that Frontier haven't quite got pterosaur flying correct. It always seems like they're struggling. They need to be less flapping, more gliding. He's a beauty too. Oh, he's the one from the trailer, I think. The grey body and the red head. They're smaller than you expected. I mean, they are what? They're 9-meter wingspans. Is a fully grown one, estimated based off the fossils. So that's about 4.5 meters per wing. So I think that's pretty accurate for sizing. But at least they can, like, use the whole of the aviary, unlike the poor old quets that get stuck there. Oh! Looks like we got another... Right, are you actually going to do it properly this time, Meg? Okay, apparently not. Yeah, my animations for the Meg are broken. The hunting animations for Meg, at least with the ichthyosaurs, are broken. I don't know if they're broken with other the other animals, but obviously when it comes to ichthyosaur, maybe it's because I don't have a mod that changes anything to do with the ichthyosaurs. I don't have any mod that influences the ichthyosaurs in any way, so I don't know what mod it could be. Like, I have nothing to it. Try know those. I mean, it might be something I try off stream, just have a look to see if I can get it to work. It could be the save file. Obviously, Thanatosdrakon doesn't have any social animation. I think it's a bit disappointing that we've got another pterosaur and we still don't have social animations. Thanatosdrakon. I'm going to be doing that a lot, I think, Cairo. Thanatosdrakon. I'm going to be mispronouncing this thing a lot. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm pretty pleased with how all the species have turned out. It's a bit disappointing that obviously I've got some problems here. I mean, let's create some Nothosaurus and see if these work any better. It could be that the Ichthy is the thing that's the problem, and there's just a broken animation between Megalodon and Ichthy. Because the only thing I've got that's changed about the Ichthyosaurus in my game is the skins. And I don't see why a skin would be affecting the animation. So, let's see if we can get a Meg to eat a Notho and see if it's still broken. Segi reminds me of pre-90s renditions of dinosaurs, and I kind of like it. In some of the colorations that I've seen already, definitely. A fight's begun. Yeah, skin mods bug animations. Really? Why? It's just changing the color of skin. I don't see why it bugs an animation if you change. That's also really bizarre because it doesn't affect the. It doesn't affect like the whale. It doesn't affect like it eating from the whale. And I would assume it doesn't affect it eating fish either. That's very strange that it would be affected in such a way. Okay, are you hunting him down? You hunting him down? Are you gonna hunt? But if that was your attempt at hunting him down, Meg, that was a failure. You know, considering I haven't touched my Nothosaurs, I have a distinct suspicion that potentially there is something wrong. Either with this save file or potentially just the Meg. Let's see if this one works out better. He protect. Okay, so I didn't see the eyes roll back at all there. The eyes stayed the same. At least in my view. And he didn't eat it, he just killed it. Well, it's potential. There's potentially a problem with this save file, perhaps. Right. Let's go and have a look at these in the species viewer. Oof, that poor Notho. I mean, it is pretty brutal. That crunch, crunch, crunch. Enter into species viewer. I mean, I don't really care that much about the combat animations, as you guys know. I don't really care about how they react when eating one another, because I don't play the game for that. But obviously it's worth having a look. So let's start. Let's go in the order that we looked at them. So Microceratus. So that's the default you will get when you breed them from the hatchery. Rana and Death Valley. Let's turn all of the colours off, and I'm going to rotate the sun slightly so we have a better view. There we go. So yeah, colours are pretty standard. Chaplain Valley is quite nice. Limpopo River is very green. Killian Mountains is your purple. Yukon River. Wow. I actually like Yukon River without any pattern at all. Look at that. It's got like... The Yukon River pattern still has like the blue speckles regardless of pattern. I actually really like that. Oh, the little E.T. skin. Yes, we'll have a look at that in a sec. Svalbard. Amazon rainforest. I would say that's yellow, not green. I mean, that's very distinctly like a grass green. And that, I would say, is yellow. That's like a banana. It's literally like a banana. You've got like the brown of the stalk and it's yellow. Nice to see the skin system messing up. Mangrove Forest, if you want sarcastically's bright fluorescent purple. That's very bright. And Gambia River Basin. Ooh, that's a really nice skin as well. I really like that. And then you have obviously Microceratus 2022A, which is the red and black stripes. And 2022B, which is the blue, and that's really nice. I really like that. That's very similar. So somewhere I have a magazine from like the early 90s, and the Microceratus that I've got in that magazine is almost identical in its coloration and pattern to that. But yeah, I like the 22B. Right, let's have a look at these patterns then. So Rana is your pink frill and brown, looks like brown stripes. Yeah, brown empty stripes. And it basically kind of works with all of the skins. I especially like it on Limpopo River. That's your watermelon skin right there. Why do I have the urge to eat a Microceratus now? Berenson, you monster! Calcarana is... What is that? Okay, so Calcarana is like a brown frill with black and brown spots. I suppose it's a more realistic skin. The frill is a bit dark. See, yeah, so Calcarana is basically if you just want stripes on the body and no real colourful frill, which I suppose is okay. Lithobates is, you know, my skin. It's the green and stripy green and black. Really like it on Javelin Valley. Looks good on Yukon River. Yeah, I would argue that, you know, again, Lithobates works pretty much with every main pattern, which is pretty nice to see. I think Amazon River and Rana replicates the mural design pretty well. Hang on, Amazon Rain... Oh, Amazon... Hang on, did you mean... Because you said Amazon River, did you mean Amazon Rainforest or Gambia River? Or Limpopo River? The yellow. So Amazon Rainforest and Rana replicates the mural design? Potentially? What mural do you mean? So Pulcrana is... Wow. Look at that. Pulcrana is your walking blacklight color. Doesn't quite work on all the patterns. Some of these some of the skins, sorry. Some of the skin colorations don't really go with this blue. Mostly because of the blue in the striping. Doesn't really work with the overall color. Like, I don't think it works with the brown very well. But I think it works very well with the more subtle colors. I mean, it works very well on Yukon River, just emphasizes that. Papurana is for that wonderful skin that we saw in the trailer, which I believe, as King Giga has said, has already been called the Galaxy skin. Oh, I really like it on the green, actually. Kind of looks good on the yellow as well. Yeah, I would say it also works on pretty much every skin color. And Pelophylax is... Wow. Kind of, you've got green, blue, and red on here. That's quite visually distinctive. And again, I would say works pretty much on every body color. So the only one I think is the only big disappointment is Calcarana. I think Calcarana is really bland and rubbish. Don't use it. And Pulcrana, if you're going to use Pulcrana, use it on the sort of... basically Death Valley, Chaplin Valley, Killian Mountains, Yukon River, maybe Amazon Rainforest, and then Mangrove Forest and Gambia don't really show this. Yeah, so Pulcrana is kind of a bit fussy to get to work with them, but overall, some really good skins in there. Oh yeah, cool. Well, that's a good point. You could use Calcarana to be a female skin, definitely. Right, let's go have a look at Segi. So there's your default pattern, which is Salar del Huasco and Rana. Let's turn the patterns off and just look through the skin colours. So they're all pretty... Ooh, I like the Death Valley. That looks nice. They're all pretty standard color-wise, pretty similar to the other carnivores we have in game. In fact, that Amazon rainforest coloration is almost identical to, I think it's Acros. So nothing especially different about the body color. Yeah, Berenson, I'm going in the order I released them. So, Rana gives you orange-brown patterning. Kind of works with them all. I don't think it's especially interesting as a colour. But I suppose if you want a realistic, something that isn't so vivid, Rana works pretty well. Calcarana gives you blues. Now, I really do like that. Something a bit more colourful. Kind of works with them all. Svalbard Lithobate, sorry, gives you... What? What does that do? Oh, I see. So Lithobates gives you colour on the outside of the pattern, a black colour on the outside of the pattern, and the inside of the pattern stays your dinosaur colour this time. So it's kind of like an inverse to something like Rana. Kind of nice. Again, doesn't quite work everywhere. And oh, I see. So you've got Lithobates and you've got Pulcrana, and they're the inverse of each other, essentially. No. No, Pulcrana is just darker. That looks quite good, though. Death Valley and Pulcrana looks really good. That's your desert skin right there, I think. Looks quite good on the green as well. It looks alright on Amazon Rainforest and on Mangrove Forest. Yeah, so not bad. Papyrana, wow, that's... So Papyrana is... You've got green on the outside of the pattern, and then an orangey red on the pattern itself. So Segi, I would say, has quite complicated skins, which I kind of like and I kind of don't. I'd say that this one doesn't really work, and this one is yellow and black. Works on Grey Sandy Desert quite nicely. Yukon River, if you want a wasp, that's quite good. Yeah, I mean, had the color of justice. Helldivers reference. Again, though, let's just compare it to Coelophysis. Which I would argue has much nicer main body colours, with some very interesting ones in the mix. And then I would argue has really good pattern colours all the way through, which generally work everywhere. Like every single pattern on every single skin. I mean, maybe this one is a bit weaker than the rest, but it still works on quite a few of them. Papyrana, again, is a bit weaker than others, but is more subtle and still works on them. And Pelophylax is just awesome. And I actually, you know, I think it looks better with this. I call it the vertebrae stripe because it does look like it's spine vertebrae just painted along the side of its body. This looks like a pattern I can imagine an animal having. It's a very organized pattern. The Segisaurus, where are we? It just strikes me as kind of a splodge. And yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think Segisaurus is the weakest in this pack by a long distance too. By a very long distance. Alright, Meg time. Megalodon. So there is your default skin pattern, Yukon River and Rana. Let's turn off the pattern. So I suppose there's your generic great white shark. If you, as a pattern, it's Yukon River. Let's have a look at the rest. Wowza. Look at that. That's really, I really like that. Sonoran Desert, I really like that. That's really cool. Death Valley. Yeah, that's a little bit more subtle. I'm digging it. Ah, so I was correct. So, when I did my video the other day and I said, I reckon the pattern in the screenshot is Great Sandy Desert, I was right. I called it. I'm getting really good at calling these skins, I have to say. I pretty much learnt the skinning system of this game. Yeah, Great Sandy Deserts on carnivores are always like grey with yellow belly tan. I think that looks really good as well. Chaplin Valley. Not fond of that green. Yeah, that's a bit of a weaker one. Salar del Huasco. Ooh. Quite like that one. Limpopo River for your default brown. Okay, so Killian Mountains is your black, basically. Killian Mountains is your black. And, yeah, it looks really good. Then you got Yukon River for your Great White. Svalbard is... Oh, okay, so you've got like black, Great White Shark, sort of silver grey, and then you've got Svalbard, which is... It's not grey, but it's not black. It's kind of an inky blue-black sort of affair. But that's good. Because if you have colours that are similar, you can use like the darker for male and the lighter for female. And you've got 3 here, so you can use... You've got like... Oh, there's your female to the male. Or you've got there's your male to that female. You've got some... Those 3 you can definitely do sexual dimorphism very easily with. Amazon rainforest is your blue and your yellow. Not amazing, but okay. Mangrove forest is again kind of similar to Amazon. It's just a bit more saturated, so you could use this. You could use those. I think that looks really good though. The deep blue and the slight tan belly. And Gambia River Basin, which is your red wine color, essentially. Maroon red with the sort of orange yellow. Right, let's have a look at the patterns then. So, Rana is your default black spots with very subtle coloured striping, sort of a grey striping. That looks so good. And that's basically a leopard shark right there. And that's almost a whale shark. Almost. Calcar. Ooh, wow. Okay. That's really, really nice. Wow. Tiger stripes on your Megalodon. That is really good. I can see why it's Evo's favorite. I mean, I think it looks good on others as well. Ooh. See, now that I like. The Chaplin Valley on its own I didn't think much of, but with the Calcarana on the top, that's really cool. Obviously on your dark skins, it's not really going to show up. But on your colourful skins, that's really beautiful. Okay, so lithobates is your speckle. That was Dane sneezing in the background, if anyone was concerned. Okay, do you know what this color... This actually makes me think of, like, that chocolate you get with, like, biscuit pieces inside it. It's almost... It's like Toblerone. it's chocolate with biscuit or nuts inside it. It's a I don't think it works. It kind of works on lithobates, actually. On Limpopo River, even. Ooh. I like the way it looks on the dark skins. And it looks quite nice on Gambia River Basin, too. Okay, so Pulcrana is your whale shark colouring. White stripes, white spots. doesn't work very well on a few of the colors. Works really well on your dark ones. But there is your whale shark, essentially. The deep blue and the white spots and stripes. You could probably get away with it also on like Svalbard or Killian Mountains. Wowza, Papurana. Okay, we got neon blue spots, cyan blue spots with greenish brown striping. Oh, I really like the way it looks on Chaplin Valley. I really like that. Not sure I like it. Do I like it on that? You know what? I think I do. I think I do like it on that as well. I was so sure, and then comes the Meg. Pelophylax is... Ooh. That's an interesting colour. So you've got, like, black, like, blue sort of spots and striping. Ooh. It's like, blue-ringed octoshark. Yes, because it's like the blue-ringed octopus. It's a shame we don't really have a distinctive, like, yellow or something to go with that. And I don't think it works on many of the skins. It looks good on Death Valley, though. Looks good on Death Valley, Sonoran Desert, maybe Chaplin Valley, maybe the dark black of Killian Mountains. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I think my favourites are Calcarana, Lithobates, and Pulcrana. I think they're the best ones there. But I have to say, like, easily the best skin is Sonoran Desert and Calcarana. Easily the best. I mean, that's just beautiful. Absolutely perfect. So yeah, well done, Frontier, with the Meg skins. You've... You know, of all the requests I had about Megalodon, done really well with them all. Oh, Tethydrakos. Thanatosdrakon. Fucking hell. Seriously, I should be like, for every time I call Thanatosdrakos Tethydrakon, I should get a quid, because I'd be rich. Thanatosdrakon. Let's have it flying. Let's have it paused so that we can get a good look at the skin. So there is your default skin, Death Valley with Rana. Subtle. Nice enough. Let's turn patterns off and have a look at the skin colours. So Sonoran Desert is your standard brown. Great Sandy Desert is your standard grey. There's a nice green in there. A nice black. Yeah, I mean, there's some that are quite close to each other to do male and female skins with. Which is nice. Let's have a look at patterns then. So Rana is your, what, yellow on the beak and kind of yellow on the beak and a sort of yellow on the wingtips. It's subtle. It's okay. Nothing overly special there. Calcarana is your red on the beak with sort of black on the wingtips. Looks alright. Works with a lot of colour combinations. That reminds me of a puffin. Yellow beak, black body. That's the puffin skin. Yukon River and Calcarana. Yeah, Lithobates is your green. Green tinge to the beak, green tinge to the wings. Looks really good there. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that's like stand out amazing. Pulcrana, blue beak, blue wings, blue crest. I mean, it's working with all of them, and it looks all right. I would say none of these are so far overwhelmingly brilliant. So you got purple beak, purple crest, purple blue wings. That's pretty nice. Yukon River and Papyrana. If you want a sort of Pteranodon rainforest-esque colour. And Pedophylax is your brighter green. Your more neon green. Again, looks good. The darker black and grey skins. Just kind of looks okay on the rest. Yeah, I mean... For Thanatosdrakon, I would say the skins are okay. There's nothing special about them. They're pretty similar to every other pterosaur that we've had so far. I mean, this splotchy nature, I think, is pretty similar to was it Trop? Was it Trop that had the same thing? Trop kind of... No, Trop has, like, stripes down the wings. I'm pretty sure there is another pterosaur which basically has the exact same... Was it this guy? No, not Pteranodon. Actually, I wonder if it was... Yeah, it's Pteranodon. It's Pteranodon 2022. Basically has the same sort of wing effect where you've got the colors at the end of the wings. So Thanatosdrakon, it's all right. It's not bad. It's okay. That's all I have to say, really, about Thanatosdrakon skins. They're all right. Certainly nothing excessively fantastic. A decent mix of colours. I mean, Svalbard and Pulcrana, that looks okay. But there's not a single pattern here that I think stands out as much as that tiger striped Megalodon. But yeah, they're okay. And yes, we've also got... Let's go and have a look at little E.T., shall we? Ah, okay. What? Is it just... It's just a skin. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I thought it's a variant. What did the forum said? Hang on, where's the forum post? The forum post said A new skin variant. That's the words they used. A new skin variant. That's just a skin. I think that's a little cheeky. They've called it, you know, to use the word variant in there, and then it's actually just a skin. That's kind of cheeky. And yeah, like, what exactly is the difference? Okay, so it's like a purple grey body and black stripes. Is that what it is? Yeah, that's all it is. It's just... What a fucking low effort skin. I'm sorry. What did they do with all the skins for Camp Cretaceous? Why are they all so low effort? Like, all of the Camp Cretaceous skins, like the Baryonyx trio as well. Why are they so fucking lazy? Little E.T. is meant to be a young Tyrannosaurus Rex. Well, it's exactly the same size. But it's just low effort. It's just grey with black stripes. Is that the very best that they could do? Camp Cretaceous is on a lower detail grade, so they don't translate too well. I mean, that's a good point, Miss Archaeopteryx. Sorry, was just having some monster. Yes, Camp Cretaceous' level of detail is quite low. So maybe it doesn't translate very well. But I have to say, that's worthless. Absolutely worthless. Why would you use Little E.T. instead of, I don't know, the Buck? I mean, thanks to mods, I can make some outrageously patterned T-Rexes thanks to mods. But, you know, if you're not using mods and you're just looking at the, you know, the skins, like, why would you use... I mean, I think Big E.T. is okay, but that Little E.T. is even... yeah, rubbish. Goodbye. Right, let's load back into my mod testing map, because obviously I also want to do a bit of a mod spotlight as well. But before I do that, let's... before I do that, there's a couple of things I haven't checked. The kelp and the lagoon light. Let's have a look at those. And then I'll give my opinion on the DLC as a whole, and then we'll look at the mod that I want to spotlight. So, I'm going to make the kelp on land first. Let's have a look at the kelp on the land. So, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So you've basically got 3 small clumps, and by small I mean let's see how large they are compared to, say, where's the biggest coral? There we go. So there's the biggest sort of coral bit that we have. They're basically the same size as the largest of the lagoon decorations we've already got, which is not saying very much, I have to say. You're going to need to be putting down a lot of these, I think. And it looks like you've got a little variation in height. Not very much, though, I have to say, in terms of height variation. And you've basically got one that's very dispersed, one that's closer together, and one that's very, very close together. They are moving, aren't they? They are slightly wobbling. But the actual leaves themselves and things are not. So they're just kind of... If I look at a normal tree here, you can see that every part of the tree is kind of slightly moving a little separately to the others. This, each stalk is just moving the same. So that's why they look very static. They're not swaying, are they? They're just slightly, like, flickering from one to the other. I also don't think they look like kelp. I don't think they look like kelp at all. Let's find an image of kelp. What the fuck? I don't know, maybe they do. It's difficult to say. I think that the kelp needs... Because I thought kelp sort of started more spindly at the bottom, and then you get a really big bushy bit at the top with like the big gas bladders all over them. That doesn't look like kelp. You know what that does look like to me? It looks like a corn. It looks like corn. It doesn't look like kelp. I don't think. While we have it on the land, let's compare it to the mod kelp. So, mod kelp, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Okay, so, modded kelp, you have, you know, it's attached to rocks. You've got fish swimming around the kelp for added interest. It's moving a lot more. Moving a lot more than the in-game version. And look at the height differences. Really short, same length, and then you have a really, really tall one, which again comes with fish around it. And then you have the really big the big collection. That big collection is about twice the size of the biggest one in game. And that's the thing, which is really going to change, really going to, you know, be important for the lagoons, is how much of a lagoon you can kind of fill. Let's have a look at them underwater. And let's just, I'm just going to put a few down. So, there it is underwater. I mean, you can see it from above, so that's all right. I just think they're not moving enough. They look way too static. And it looks kind of fake because there's nothing at the bottom. Let's have that area there was like six of them put together. Or you could put down so that's about 6. That's 3. That is why we need big lagoon decorations. You need 6 of them all together, clumped up close, or 3. And this one, you've got rocks under them all. You've got fish amongst them all. They're moving almost, I would say, a bit too much here. But you can kind of, phase that out. I mean, but the fact that there's movement around them, the fish, they're moving so very distinctly. You've got the rocks and the plants amongst the bottoms. Like that. Like let's go inside and look up. That's what I like to think a kelp forest looks like if I'm inside it, looking up. Big and bushy and loads of fish and stuff around. This, I mean, it does a good job. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's too static, and they needed to add some of the fish effects. I suppose let's try and okay, so mixing and matching. The mixing and matching helps. Like if you mix and match the kelp types, it definitely helps. You get more movement there, you got the fish there, you've got the very different heights and types. So again, mixing and matching, yeah, looks alright. But strictly on a one-to-one basis, I think I prefer the modded kelp. I think the modded kelp is better. The more movement, the fish around the outsides, the bubbles, the rocky sort of sandy base that each one has. It's more visually interesting compared to this. This is okay. But this is better, I think. And I think this looks better from above as well. Look how green it looks, whereas this looks kind of dead. This looks vibrant. And I suppose there is the lagoon light as well, isn't there? Which is now just a ground-based light. So, let's just plonk one down. We'll change the time of day. And yeah, it is basically the same as the lagoon light. Is it? I'm curious about something. Let's just find a really black place. Okay, so that's the cone of light with the land light. If I place down the lagoon version of it, curious to see. Okay, so it is identical. So the amount of light you're getting from them is identical. Honestly, I thought the lagoon version of it was had a greater effect, but yeah. It's basically the lagoon light and everything but name. It's good that we finally have it. But again, like, why is it taking them that long to give us a simple thing as a light? I mean, for heaven's sake. Okay, so I'm gonna make a Meg. And then we'll watch it swim about while I give my overall opinions. Sonoran Desert and Calcarana. It was that one, right? Sonoran and Calcarana? Oh, we got a different angle this time. Just... Ho, 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 ho. Outstanding. Let's be a bit fun. Let's put down like let's put down a viewing dome. And we'll just keep an eye on it from the viewing dome. So, where's he gone? He's over there. So what do before I do anything spotlighting the mod, what do I think overall of this DLC? Okay, so overall, I think it's let down a little by the Segi. Because I don't really see the point in it. The Coelophysis has better skins and is bigger. And I don't really think the Segisaurus was as desperately requested as Frontier wants to think that it was. Microceratus, really beautiful skins. But like the Segisaurus and like the other small animals in game, the main problem with it is that it's too small to be easily viewed from any of the game, essentially. Just like all of the other animals of that size, the Megalodon has decided to avoid the viewing dome at all times, so we'll just swim around it like here. Yeah, it has the same problem that all the small dinosaurs have. Segisaurus and the Microceratus has the same problem. See, even Megalodon prefers this kelp. Look. Oh, that looks so cool. Anyway, as I was saying, does look how it phases through that kelp as well. Ugh. So yeah, Segi and Microceratus. Segi is definitely the weakest animal in the pack for me. I don't see the purpose to it. Microceratus, beautiful animal, good to finally have it. Don't know why it's taken them so long to put it in the game, considering Jurassic World Dominion came out over a year ago now? Is that correct? It must be longer than that, surely. So yeah, don't know why it took them so long, and has the same problem all the small dinosaurs have in the game. Thanatosdrakon is a perfectly acceptable pterosaur. Nothing especially special in terms of its skin patterns or colours. Is just another good-ish pterosaur. Megalodon, obviously. Megalodon is obviously the star of the show, the star of this pack. Really good animations, or at least the shark, like its shark feeder jumping animation. I think out of the 4 that we have, I think Megalodon's is my favourite. The skins, almost all universally brilliant. I think it's a little high in the ratings, but apart from that, definitely the best animal in this pack. The kelp, they think they could have done more, but I'm glad they have finally given people who don't mod something like the kelp that they can put in their lagoon. I personally think Max Spheres' kelp is better. And the lagoon, the land-based floodlight, again, it's good that people who don't mod or can't mod have a floodlight they can use on the land. But again, a bit like the kelp decorations, a bit like Microceratus, a bit like the aquatic social animations, why has it taken them so long to do something so simple? Why has it taken them so long? I do honestly believe this is the last DLC as well. I don't think we're going to get another DLC. Personally, just the name of it, the Park Manager's Collection, that feels like to me the sort of title you would give a final ending pack. I think this is the last DLC, personally. My overall rating, I mean, I'm going to be making another video about this next week, because I've come to realize that my initial responses and my initial thoughts during these stream showcases, I tend to notice that after like a week or 2 weeks, sometimes my views change. So I'm going to be doing a video about this as well, probably next week at some point. But overall, right now, I think my rating for this DLC is... Ooh. Okay, thinking about my video that I did a couple of months ago rating all of the DLCs, do I think this one is better than the aquatic DLC? No, I don't. Do I think it's better than the feathered species pack? No, I don't. Do I think it's better than the pack where we got Styxosaurus? No, I don't. I think this is probably going to be in 4th place for me. Which puts it like dead in the middle. I think the main letdown is Segi and Microceratus. Microceratus should have been in the Dominion DLC. I see no reason for it to have been sold separately. And Segisaurus, I think there were far better choices. A Gorgonopsid. Platyosaurus. I've seen more people ask for Platyosaurus than Segisaurus. Definitely, easily. I think Segisaurus is going to end up being the one that people use the least. I think Megalodon, Thanatosdrakon, Microceratus, they all have their fans for various reasons. But for me, I think Segisaurus will be the one that gets used the least, if at all. So that's my view. Right. Let's go have a look at something slightly different. So, while we were enjoying our new paid-for DLC, at the same time, on the same day, Luca, who you may remember as the person who made the absolutely amazing Devonian mod, and this was a mod that, I mean, let me just highlight for you what Luca does with his mods. Luca has made a few mods. So, Luca's first mod was this amazing, was a kind of a test, and he made this brilliant little sauropod mod called Yamanosaurus, and you got a couple of lovely flags. You got a nice display board, and if I actually, move in to this display board, you can actually pretty much read what it says, which is brilliant. And the sauropod himself, let's find Yamano, is kind of cute. It's like this chunky little boy with osteoderms. It's adorable. His second mod, the Devonian period mod, went a few steps further. So we received from him, where are they? This wonderful board, flag, a statue, this wonderful gate, and the 4 animals, Bungartius, 3 animals, sorry, Bungartius, Titanichthys, and Tencanthus. A nice Devonian flag, the Titanichthys statue, and this Devonian zone thing. If I just switch the time of day to night, it glows in the dark as well. Absolutely brilliant. I should remember I can change the time of day in camera mode, can't I? I need to remember that. And then, like I say, we got 3 very cool animals from it. Bungartius, which is this oyster-eating shark, essentially. 10 canthus, which is like a more of a hybodis sort of style of shark. And 10 canthus. Titanichthys, sorry. Which is like a Dunkleosteus-sized fish eater. Well, today, Luca came out with his Amphibian pack, and I have to say, it's absolutely incredible. And I just love the fact that on a day when Frontier is asking us for £5.99, Luca has done all what he's done for free, and the quality is superior. So, you get a number of decorations with this Amphibian pack. I'm going to put them all down. You also get, I think, some signs. Yep, there we go. And let's just... So, you get a bunch of signs, as well as education boards, and this will show you all the animals as well. So you've got Anthracosaurus, Ichthyostega, Plathystrix, and Diploculus as well. You've got this really beautiful board. You've got a new type of tree here for your swamps. Statue. A really nice sort of wooden wall section. And this really beautiful mural, which I mean, you could use this at the back of dinosaur enclosures pretty nicely. And then you have this lovely gantry as well. I love this warning sign here. Do not poke or bang the glass. Do not provoke the animals inside. I like that. I want that on a sign just for my T-Rex enclosure. Do not provoke the animal inside. And I think this also, if I change the time of day to night. There we go. It glows green. How cool is that? And you get the little, all the education boards glow as well. As well as the main one. How fucking cool is that? I think that's awesome. We also get, if I make some water, we also get some placeable algae. Which I think looks really good on water. It's going to really help to... I can see me using this in a lot of places. Just to give the water some more impressive sort of nature. Two of the coolest things, though, that his mod has, which I can see being really useful, is the enclosure itself. And you can basically do it in two varieties. You can have it just as the glass ringed enclosure, or you can put the roof on, essentially, and have it covered. How cool is that? And I happen to think this is going to be so useful if you want to have some slightly smaller species inside. If you want to have your small dinosaurs now, this is the sort of enclosure you want to use. Maybe not necessarily those sorts of things, but definitely if you want a couple of Minmi or a small pack of Microceratus, or say some Oviraptors. I'm actually just going to put a few down in here, because I just want to see if they do stay inside the enclosure. Yeah, they do. And you might have to do a little bit of messing around with the editing to get like water in there and such. But this is such a good way of having your small dinosaur species now. How good is that? I do wonder... I kind of want to experiment with something here. Because I wonder if... Where's Dimorphodon? Okay, so Dimorphodon can escape. So the roof is not... the roof is not a roof. I was just curious to see if the roof would stop Dimorphodon. It doesn't. They do escape. Yeah, the Dimorphodons escape. But yeah, this is now a really good thing for me to display my small species with. And I love the fact it's a really good standard shape as well. And of course, in addition to all these wonderful decorative features, you do also get... I think that's all of the decorative features. I'm just going to double check. Yep, so you do also get 4 animals. Let's go and have a look at them in the species viewer. Yeah, if they had stayed in there, yay Holopterus, it would have been a really good idea. So, you get 4 chunky amphibious animals. Random Shark Boy, some people say this is the last DLC, but I doubt that. They didn't confirm it either. I think the game will still get its support to the end of the year. So Random Shark Boy, the only reason I think it's the final one is the title they've given it. The Park Manager's Collection. If you look at all the other DLCs, they've been called like the Feathered Species, the Cretaceous Carnivore, there's the Late Cretaceous Pack. There's been a theme to every DLC they've done. Up till now. Now it's just the Park Manager's Collection. And whenever you... It's like when a TV series ends, or like any other game ends development, they come out with the ultimate collection. That's why I think it's the final DLC. It's just the language they're using. So, let's find our first animal. Thanatosdrakon. So he's basically kind of like a chunky lizard boy with a paddle tail. He has some nice patterns on his face. And he's got a sort of spotted skin coloration. That looks really nice. Mostly greens, which I suppose makes sense, considering it's a sort of amphibian. And I believe he's based on the Dimetrodon model, so he kind of... he'll run at things like that. I think he looks kind of cute. Then we have Diploculus, which is a really weird looking hammer-headed, boomerang-headed animal. And this one, the main colours are kind of on the back, where I suppose the gills or whatever it would be. Comes in a range of colours. And you've got main body colours as well, in quite a good range of type. I don't know what rig this guy is based on. Is that Minmai? Considering the way it's bounding, I think that's Minmai. But he's cute. Or, oh, it could be the Listro. Yeah, good point. We also then have Ichthyostega, which is your less chunky boy with these brilliant stripes. This guy, the pattern colors don't really seem to be working very well on, but you have a range of skin types. And again, I think this guy is also based on Listro. But for me, the one I think is most kind of cursed, but also kind of cute, is this guy. Platyhystrix. He's adorable. He's got his little sail and his stout little horns and his little tail. So the pattern color gives you different colors to the sail spots and the eye spot on the side. And again, it comes in a range of colors. And I think is based on the Listro again. I just think he's adorable with his little sail there. He's really cute. So, yes, Luca released this pack today. And I think it highlights something very interesting. I'm going to build a quick exhibit for one of these. What animal would people like to see? Which one shall we make an exhibit for? Let's do some quick building while we have a chat. Platy says Miss Archaeopteryx. Okie dokie. So let's make a quick enclosure. So obviously we want to have down our... We'll do an outdoor enclosure. There you go. Let's do like a type of path. Let's do that sort of path. Like that. Oof. Oh, you pain. Obviously, mods can't do very much about the awkwardness of a Frontier's building system at times. I think it's going to be tricky to get the path around this. You might have to build like the path first. Okay, something like that. And then let's do like we need water, obviously. Probably better to build water before you build the path as well. Seriously. Awkward. Awkward, awkward, awkward building system. I effing hate the thing. Okay, let's put that down. Put the water in. There we go, that's better. Let's remove a little bit around the edges. Like that. That's better. Okay, let's do terrain color inside. Let's keep it kind of mucky. There we go. Good night, Neron. Sleep well. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's move these manually. That way they shouldn't remove any of the water. Okay, good. Let's put in fish. We need a feeder. So this particular mod gets you to download a couple of other types of feeder called land fish feeders. So you can put down fish for them to eat. Let's put in like a few of these. Let's grab another one and like sink it down slightly. Let's put in like some of that algae. Ooh, that's a bit big. And let's put in like trees. What trees? Maybe something like that. Maybe Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's pop down like a couple of these. Like one of those down there. Let's have like one of these sort of here. One of these front here. Let's give it like a those, like one of those. Obviously, you really do have to make a good use of Kaidenix's mod for this. Good luck, Berenson. I hope you do well in your exams. Where are... And let's have our... There we go. I wonder how big this is in comparison to, say, a viewing gallery. Not viewing gallery, a viewing log. Oof. Very oversized, but I suppose you could put one of those in there, and then... Like, if you surrounded this with, like, trees. I mean, this is obviously very quick. If I was doing this for real, I'd be taking far more time with it. But, like, you could then surround that with trees, and then you would have... a view down into the little amphibious enclosure. Obviously way too small for a viewing dome or anything like that. Yeah, and then you have your little... Some of these you obviously have to, I think, lower with Kaidenix's mods, so they don't appear to be floating off the water level. They're so kind. They are adorable. The little chunky boys. I do know they eat from the fish feeders as well. Let's make dinosaurs have to eat, just to double check that they do. But it's such... Obviously, those of us who mod, we are spoiled by the modders. But it really is enlightening. You know, this is a person who is working 100% for free. Okay? He's just doing it out of the passion for the game and his mod making. And for free, one person has designed 4 animals, a range of decorations to go with those animals, and a whole new enclosure type that actually really, really works. And, well, Miss Archaeopteryx, that's what I mean. The things that the modders are doing here, why can't Frontier do it? why is it up to modders to realize that if you're going to have a tiny animal, you need to have an enclosure that's kind of suited to them so that they can eat? Well, potentially it's Universal, but again, I don't honestly think that it is all Universal's fault. I think sometimes it just comes down to the fact that I think Frontier lack imagination. And I agree, Kairu, that they're a corporation, but why can they not do more? And I think too many people blame Universal, and they let Frontier get away with laziness. The fact that it's taken Frontier 2.5 years to give us a light that we can place on land to act as a spotlight, that's shocking. 2.5 years. And yet modders will do something like this. I don't know, guys. I just think I just want to see them eat from the fish. I think mods like this really demonstrate to me that I think people have been too kind to them. And or kelp. Yeah. Like 2.5 years for kelp. The packs are so bare minimum. You know what I would pay $5.99 for? I would pay Luca $5.99 for this. Happily. Like, take my money and run. Go do more. And I'll give you another $5.99 for another pack. Like, his Devonian period pack, this pack, I would easily, happily pay £5.99 for. But £5.99 for hybrids that we've had before, again, £5.99 for... He's eating from the fish, from the feeder. I think... And this worries me for Jurassic World Evolution 3. Because Frontier have not demonstrated for me with Jurassic World Evolution 2 that they know what they're doing. And I think a really big sign of that is when we all saw that kelp was coming, there was so much more happiness for kelp than there was for anything else. The pro-kelp response. It was so much more than the species response. Yeah, plenty of people were happy for Meg. But I think overall, people were happier for kelp. You know, Evo's poll, the last time I saw it, it was like a 50-50 split between kelp or Meg. And that's the people that play Jurassic World Evolution 2. They're the people Frontier should be looking at. the people that want stuff like this. Yes, we want species, but we also want a good way to put our small dinosaurs in the park. We want decorative wall sections. We want decorative plants. And for heaven's sake, we want stuff like this. The bloody signs. Where's the right one for our... There he is. We want stuff like this. The signs that we can stick next to our enclosures. So that when we're walking around, we can go, oh yeah, so this is the animal in here. And we can read it. It's a Permian era animal as well. Didn't know that. This is what we want. This. Not, let's be honest, Frontier. We don't want this. And we don't want this. We want this. That's what we want. And I feel that Frontier puts too much emphasis in listening to people who want, or who very loudly complain because, oh, we absolutely, positively must. Where is it? We absolutely have to have this guy. And we absolutely must have to have this guy. And we absolutely must have to have this guy. Or we absolutely must have this thing. Or this thing. Or this thing. No, Frontier. We want this. I completely agree, Jesse. Honestly, at this point in time, for Jurassic World Evolution 3's development, Frontier should just not do it. Seriously, Frontier should just hire the modders. Hire Kyadenic. Hire Luca. Hire Max Fears. Get them to make content for the game. Because this is what the sort of stuff I want. Frontier can do the boring crap, like the buildings that they're just going to copy-paste again. We know they're just going to copy-paste them again. But when it comes to the more interesting stuff, give it to the modders. Let the modders deal with it. Exactly. It's nice to have the species, but it's not what the game needs. Fletcher with the signs. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and that. I know, Glitzbog, and I know I'm probably ranting, but I'm so frustrated. They had such a good basis with Jurassic World Evolution 2. And do you want to know what's even more shocking here, guys, okay? What I've placed down here, the facility buildings, the bias-in buildings, the occasional Malta building here and there. We haven't actually... This is everything we got in the first year. It's like, seriously, this is all first year stuff. We haven't received, in terms of like proper building sets, anything more than this after year 1. In terms of its actual building, the stuff that's the core gameplay loop of building the park, we haven't received anything more. JPOG had information signs. You couldn't read them, but they were there. Exactly. Yeah, even the log viewing dome was in that same year. And you know what really bugs me about the viewing dome? Since we're having a bit of a complaint. That's the only version of it we got. We got like 3 different versions of a door. Sorry. 3 different versions of a doorway for it. But when it comes to the dome itself, it's exactly the same. It's... I think the dome is kind of Jurassic World style, but I think it doesn't really suit a Jurassic Park style at all. And it definitely doesn't suit a Biosyn, Malta, or Facility style. And then when you look at the view, you've got this whacking great big bar in front of you, which spoils it entirely. So you can't fucking see the thing unless it's right at the dome. Corporate and sanitized. And it's the only version of it we got. We didn't get a version for Jurassic Park or Malta or anything like that. We just got one generic version. I know the bar is for safety, but I'm sure there's another way of them doing that which doesn't obscure your view. It's just so frustrating to me that I feel like this game had some on day 1. This game wasn't perfect day 1, but it felt like there was a really good... Like, they had done some really nice groundwork, right? They had cleared away all the weeds. They had put in the nice big boulders for their rockery. They'd put down some nice soil and some gravel ready for planting. You know, it was a really good starting point for a really good product. And then for the last 2 years, they've just been filling it and filling it and filling it with more gravel. You know, the species that we already have so many of. They just keep pouring gravel on top. And I think the kelp is the biggest highlighter of this. Just... It's... Just look at them. Which one do you think looks like it's been made by the official team? And which one do you think looks like it was made by a modder? To me, I think the one on the right looks like the cheap modder. And it's not. It's the other way around. I don't know. To be fair, Frontier dumbasses took away every single placeable foliage in the game and took a year to put it back in on unlimited feeders. Exactly. Just... I don't get it. Right? I wish I could go to Frontier. I mean, they're in England. Maybe I should just turn up at their office one day. I wish I could go to Frontier and, like, sit their developers down in a room and ask them why they have done things in this game the way that they have. Because I don't understand the mindset of how they've gone around doing some of what they've done. I don't get it. I like money. Well... Oh, what's wrong with this guy? Oh, I think he's got him stuck in the tree, bless him. There we go. I'm gonna rescue you as well. There you go. I don't know, guys. Obviously, I don't want to sound like I'm constantly beating Frontier up, because you guys have heard me say all of it before. But yeah, as Monster says, it makes me really nervous for the third game. If they are making a third game, how new is it actually going to be? How much is going to be copy and pasted? How many random features are we going to have to wait 2 years for again? Like, are we going to have the next game where, again, we don't have placeable foliage? Where we don't have unlimited feeders and sandbox? Where we have to wait for... And yeah, Miss Archaeology, I totally agree. We didn't get any expansions that were actually their own work. Both expansions, Biosyn and Malta, all they had to do was copy the film. There was nothing original about them at all. Jurassic World Evolution 1, the Return to Jurassic Park 1 was fully original. Doctor Wu's Secrets, pretty much fully original. And Claire's Sanctuary, I would also argue pretty much original, the focus on paleobotany and stuff. This one, species packs and 2 building sets that we barely use because the buildings in them are ugly. Yeah, Andre, I mean, that's how it feels like it's going. It's the EA Games park. It's an EA game park building game where they cut features out and expect you to pay for them, or they cut features out and you have to wait for 2 years. I don't know, guys. I'm not optimistic for Jurassic World Evolution 3 if it's coming. And I think I'm going to be even more cautious about Jurassic World Evolution 3 than I was Jurassic World Evolution 2. Like, if you watching back at some of the response I had to the videos during JWE2's like hype period, you know, I was cynical and kind of pessimistic. I stand by a lot of what I said. I'm even more cynical and pessimistic for the next game. They have got to make it overwhelmingly better. Really, really overwhelmingly better. But yeah, Luca's Amphibious Pack, absolutely amazing. I'll be doing a mod spotlight video for that. And yeah, my overall opinion on today's DLC is... If I had to give it a rating out of 10... I don't know if I was to give it a rating out of 10, actually. Glitz says 5. Yeah, let's see what you guys think. So, in chat, tell me your rating for the Park Manager's DLC out of 10. So, Glitz says 5, Kairu says 6, Nicholas says 8 out of 10. That's very high, Nicholas. Miss Archaeopteryx Segisaurus out of 10. Jaden 3, The Monster 4.5, Ryan the Gamer 7. Seven for Andre. I think if I was going to give it a rating out of 10, I would go with 6. So, Megalodon is obviously really, really good. That's worthy of a lot of points. Thanatosdrakon is okay, kind of average. Microceratus is a really nice small animal. Segisaurus, kind of pointless. And I think Segisaurus brings it down slightly, as well as the fact that we got 2 small animals in the pack, which we can't really see. And again, if I'm being cruel, Segisaurus doesn't do anything that other animals we have in game do better, like Coelophysis. And Thanatosdrakon, again, also isn't overwhelmingly better than other similar animals. The Meg is the big one that saves this pack. So I think 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10, but I wouldn't go much higher than that. I think out of all of the species packs, I think it would be 4 out of 10 for me. Fourth one along. Or fourth in total, because I've got like I think my top 3 are the aquatic, late Cretaceous and feathered. I think this one would then be after that. Just out of curiosity, what would people rate Luca's Amphibian pack out of 10? No, Brenton, I think it's not as good. Kyrie says 10 out of 10 for the Amphibian pack. Eight out of 10, says Branson. Okay, maybe rating it is cool. Now let's change the question. If you had to buy one of these, the Park Manager's Collection or Luca's Amphibian pack, you know, the animals, all the decorations as it is, the mod, which one would you be more likely to buy? This is testing people's loyalty to Megalodon. Kairu says the Amphibian. Park Manager for Thanatos. Glitz says Amphibians by a landslide. I know which one I would buy. I would give my money to Luca. Easily. Because I think it's safe to say that I think the Megalodon is the only one we're buying this for. Like, I think people would buy the Meg on its own. There's another question. If the Meg was on its own, just at like $1.99, because that's how much the Raptor skins were for JWE1. If the Meg was done as a DLC for £1.99 on its own, would you get it? None of the other animals, just the Meg. Not me, says Andre. Hunger says no. So the other animals do matter to you guys then? Something, and Jesse say yes, I would. If it's only for $1 or something, maybe. Personally, I wouldn't, as I'm not a fan of the Meg, says Jaden. Yeah. I think there's some interesting quirks here. Anyway, it's nearly at 11 o'clock. I've been going for nearly 3 hours. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been a really enjoyable stream. Like so many of you here, it's been really great to see. And I'm really touched that all of you, you know, Evo and all of the early access people, they've done their videos and stuff about this. So I'm really touched that you guys have come to listen to me ramble on for nearly 3 hours to give my opinion. So yeah, thank you really a great deal, because I have to say, like, me and Dane are going through some pretty stressful stuff. Basically, we might be homeless in the next few weeks. So, you know, you guys coming here and being our buddies and supporting the channel, it means a lot to us. So, thank you for that. There will be a stream on Sunday as per normal. I don't yet know what I'm going to do. I might start a new park. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, I will see you guys on Sunday. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already done so. If you haven't subscribed, or you're watching this after the fact and you haven't subscribed, please do so. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your days wherever you are. Until Sunday, stay safe and good night.